so and grew up. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go Cubby, Son Ranto
with Michael,
Son Ranto
and Crawley,
Son Ranto and the lovable loser. Son Ranto
with Michael,
Son Ranto
and Crawley,
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
Hey guys, it's Danny Rocket from the Son Ranto Show, along with the other Son Ranto rantees, Michael Cotton and Crawley down there in where are you? You're in the Cubs cave. I can see that.
Yep, Crawley's clubhouse is starting to kind of come together.
Yeah, I saw your bobbleheads. Your case was getting going. You were getting your shelves all filled up, and then you said you had like 300 bobbleheads altogether.
Nah, closer to 250 probably. Not that much.
250. So, hey, well, first of all, welcome. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters that are making this show possible. But not a lot of Cubs news to report. Just, the GM meetings are going on behind closed doors. They're still working to work on the CBA right now and try to get that all straightened out. And the Cubs did make one move. I figure we should start here. Wade Miley. Anybody surprised? I mean, I was kind of surprised the Reds just let him go when you need somebody to pitch, and did 160 some odd innings. And
yeah, I was amazed. I was blown away by this news because I didn't expect anything. Nothing was going to happen. We're 20 days away from being locked out, and I didn't expect the Cubs to do anything till maybe March. Like literally just fucking nothing. So when they grabbed Miley for that 10 mil, it makes sense. $10 million for a starting pitcher. 1 year.
Yeah, the Cubs are flush with cash. Cash is not really the problem as far as how much they can spend on their payroll. We went in, you now have Kyle Hendricks is really the only guy that is starting. Everybody else are young kids, and you're going to have to fill that out. And if the last season taught us anything, it's the importance of depth and quality depth. Wade Miley's a guy who's done it before. He's pitched within the division. $10 million, like I said, for 1 year, that's nothing really for them. It's literally, probably what we spend on beer every season. And so whatever, man, you get it done and you kind of knock something out early. You can see a lot of these type moves happening before the CBA expires on December 1st. The big guys, the Correas and that kind of stuff, I don't expect to see that until February. But guys like Wade Miley and stuff.
Well, February, if they actually get something done,
right?
and we're not.
They got to get it done too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that it is going to get done around end of January, early February, and then they're going to try to condense everything as far as rushing free agency, trying to shave a little time off spring training, trying to shave a little time off of the season, and trying to disrupt it as little as possible. But I think both sides know that this has to get done, and I think it will get done. It's just they're going to make you sweat it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look how they did to get the 60-game season going last year. It's just that you knew they were going to get something done, but it wasn't going to be anything that either side wanted. And, when one thing I saw, as far as what the players had wanted, they wanted 2 years until arbitration starts instead of 3. They want 6 years until they're a free agent instead of 7. And then the owners were like counteracting that with like, oh, well, we want a lower luxury tax and we want higher penalties for going over the luxury tax. I was like, well, those are two different things completely.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're not even close at all. But talking about Wade Miley, Crawley, you said it best. He's done it before. He's done it a lot before. He's done it a lot.
10 years, man.
Yeah, he's got 11.
11 years?
Yeah, total. Yeah, 2011 to 2021.
Yeah, I always get confused because you actually have to count the 2011 season as the one, not just subtract it. Yeah.
So 163 innings last year. He had a good year. but you worry that you're buying high. But as you said, $10 million isn't really that high anyway. So, but he looks as good as he's looked in a long time. Last year, I mean, they used him. If you remember in 2018, that damn Milwaukee team that got past us in the that was game 163. They got past us there, and then in that year they used him as kind of like that kind of swing starter guy. I mean, he started games, but he didn't pitch deep into them. They were piggybacking him stuff, and then with Cincinnati last year, he was a full-fledged starter, 163 innings. He hasn't pitched 200 innings since 2014, but I think that's a thing of the past anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that's on Miley. That's on the managers in the front office not allowing people to do that anymore.
This smells like Zach Davies from the left side, but maybe it's better than that.
That's the only thing I didn't like about this is that it's more, he is definitely more of the same. Like he throws a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. He throws and that's not fast enough. And he just throws junk shit up there. He does an okay job with it. And for 10 million, who gives a fuck? That's the thing I keep coming back to. How did the Reds not want to pick up a $10 million option? It's totally worth it.
You don't know what you wonder what some of these owners and stuff, they're talking about San Francisco or about the Dodgers. They're talking to the Dodgers president of baseball operation, Andrew Friedman. And, ownership's basically told them, get what you need to do to win. And unfortunately, as we all know, there's not a lot of ownerships that are doing that. There's some that are looking more about the bottom line and cutting corners, those type of things. And so, I think that the Reds kind of just were disappointing as far as, I thought they were going to be a team that won it in 2020. It was a shortened season. They never really got gelled together. And then 2021, they finished behind the Cardinals and the Brewers, who won the division. So they put a lot into thinking that they were going to win, and it didn't happen. And when you're a team like Cincinnati, the patience level there is not going to be what maybe it should be.
But did it feel like they were going for it in the short season, and then in the 2021 season, it felt like they backed off of that a little bit?
Well,
I think they were a couple of guys, and they just didn't really make any big splashes.
I think they were going for it in 2020. They didn't know it was going to be a short season at the time. They had everything lined up going into it, and then that kind of just effed everything up. And then I think they did kind of take their foot off the gas after that, which is dumb because you were kind of all in.
That's right. Once you're in, once you're stomped on the gas, fucking go. It's you're jumping the bridge, right? Like you let off the gas and you're not making the other side. Just fucking keep it going, and you're either gonna blow up spectacularly or you're gonna make it. And letting off the gas fucking ruins.
I think it was very fortuitous for a guy like Wade Miley to even be out there, in that way for $10 million. And Jed knows it. And he's like, oh, he's coming through. And what was it? Like 6, 7 teams that didn't want him until he got to us.
That's what killed me. The waivers. I was like, where were the Cubs on the waivers? There are 6 or 7 teams up, and nobody's picking this guy up.
Nobody picked him up, and now $10 million for a big market team is going to be different than if you're like the Pirates and like Wade Miley's going to now take a 10% of your entire payroll.
Player.
Yeah, the Rays,
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the Royals are not going to pick him up. You know what I mean? One of those teams. But for him to even be there was somewhat fortuitous. And I'm not saying that anybody's going to get excited, but it was just nice to be like, hey, they fucking did something good. Like, this is great.
And
they did something nice, but they need obviously more
everything
than this.
Everything on this went their way as far as they got the guy. 10 million's not a lot of dollars. It's off the books next year, so you don't have to fucking worry about it.
Yeah.
He gives you just consistency, which is what you're looking for, especially with young starters. They talked about 2 out of 3 maybe being in the rotation of Justin Steele, Alzolay, and Keegan Thompson.
Yeah.
So throw Wade Miley in the mix there.
Yeah, and use those as not necessarily sparingly, but you want to use them to their strengths as they learn the league and they learn how to do everything. You don't want to overexpose them too early. So to have somebody like Wade Miley be the new Zach Davies, or what Zach Davies was supposed to be, it's helpful.
When we say the new Zach Davies, I want to be careful there because boy, oh boy, he had a year from hell. And somebody's going to pick him off cheap. Zach Davies is not as bad as we saw. I don't know what in the hell happened to Zach Davies last year.
I don't know. I think he is. I think he is actually that bad. I think when you throw 88, you have no margin for error, and he just lost it. I don't think he's getting to an age where he's just not controlling it.
Those were by far the worst numbers of his career. Not even close. Worst numbers of his career. If you take a look at his numbers, it was an absolute anomaly. It's one of these things is not like the other.
That's also he's the oldest he's ever been.
Yeah, well, and if you look at Wade Miley, I mean, it can go that way too. Like granted, it was like with a crappy team in Baltimore in 2017, but he had 157 innings and an ERA in the mid fives.
He's made his way back from that though.
And it's like
throw 2020 out because 2020.
Right. So he's made his way back, but he's still like, he's at 30, he's going to be 35 next year, and he's just there for the year, and he's just a warm body, but like,
right.
So
it's not a 5 to 6. It's not a 5 to 6 year deal. And I mean, when you talk about age, you take a look at what Adam Wainwright did or some of the other guys, and honestly, the names that are out there for starting pitchers, a lot of them are going to be names like maybe Clayton Kershaw or Justin Verlander. All of these guys are going to be kind of long in the tooth. Nobody's really getting rid of young studs. You know what I mean?
Stroman and then it falls off. Stroman, Gaussman, and then it falls way the hell off at that point, And
right.
and so if they were to sign one of those guys, then I'd be like, ooh, they are trying to win the Central. But I don't foresee that. I think they're going to see a lot more of this kind of thing where.
Right. Well, and like Danny, like you were saying with Milwaukee, he did some of that. Piggybacking stuff, and with the way that we have our young guys, and they've already done it a little bit with Alec Mills. They've with different guys, or Steele, Alzolay going together, that sort of thing.
They're doing it in the playoffs. They're having an open, they're doing the opener thing all over. It's the new thing. Like you're not going to see a dude pitching 160 innings is like the new 200. And it happened really fast. And it was a lot of innings that came off of arms real quick,
And it made the game that much worse.
And slower. And so what you're taking a look at, and it's, is basically the numbers say averages go up after 3 times through the order. And sure as shit, you saw it in the postseason every single time. Basically, no matter what the fucking pitcher was doing, third guy comes around after the third time.
He's out.
The Braves did it in game 6, right? Their guy was fucking pitching 70 pitches, and he's mowing the guys down, and they pull him in the fucking at the end of the 6th. And I was just like, oh my God, is this going to be the fucking Tampa Bay Rays again? Because that's what they did against the Dodgers, and
it screwed
them. But they got through their next reliever, pitched 2 innings, and then they got in. So it worked out for them.
We're going to go through.
It was stupid. I hate seeing it.
Here's the thing, and when it works out great, you look like a genius, and if all of a sudden the relievers came in and coughed it up, you look like a dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, let's move on. But before we do, just a quick word from our sponsor, us, Ranto Swag.
Do you like having sex? Me too. That's why I always wear my Ranto swag shirts every time I'm looking to get some. It's the only t-shirt guaranteed to get you laid. Knock boots in your shankless shirt, bump uglies in a Ranter long sleeve, ride the skin-busted Tuna Town in a Dabbing Cubes fan shirt, take gold one-eye to the optometrist in your bull penis awesome attire, or smash pissers in a Spagog shirt. Ranto swag shirts are just like people. There are many different sizes and colors to choose from. Plus, at Ranto's swag store, you'll find vintage John Baker Day, designated hater, and Matt Cameron drawn rally titty designs on everything from shirts and hoodies to baby onesies, bags, and hats. Go to sunranto.com/swag and check out all the sexy styles guaranteed to get you laid. You'll be stuffing the soft taco in no time. sunranto.com/swag, guaranteed to get you laid.
Wearing Ranto Swag products not guaranteed to get you laid. Ranto Swag is not responsible for your sex life. Ranto Swag is for entertainment purposes only. So we're missing Rex Brothers, guys. Rex Brothers is no longer with the team. I know he was one of your personal favorites.
I don't think we're missing him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say missing it all. Goodbye.
It's one of those things. It's like he elected free agents. You're like, we still had him on this team.
Yeah, somehow. No, and I think he's hopefully that he's hoping that somebody elects to hire him and give him a contract because, I mean, he was okay. It's just one of those guys that was out there in a bad season. But the 40-man roster is at 35, and that gives them some flexibility right now. And I thought the news that was interesting this week, speaking of guys that we could add to this 40-man roster, and pitchers, which we were just talking about, is
they can add all 4 of these guys.
They could because they didn't get qualifying offers. John Gray, Carlos Rodon, Steven Matz, and Anthony DeSclafani. And DeSclafani, that's not really that big of a surprise. I think Rodon was a pretty big surprise to a lot of people, because he did have such a great bounce back year with the White Sox.
Here's the thing with Rodon, and
you're the only one that hates him, Crawley. You're the only one that hates
he's a good dude, and he's a very good pitcher when he's healthy. I just know what it's like in the past to sit. I remember every year with Wood and Pryor. We'll be good as long as Wood and Pryor stay healthy. Why do you think the White Sox got Rodon for so cheap in the offseason? He was open. The Cubs could have gotten him. The Cardinals could have gotten him. The Dodgers, anybody could have picked him up. He wasn't that expensive, and he had a great year. And then when they needed him the most, what happened?
Yeah.
Right.
I knew as soon as I saw Rodon on there, we're going to hear Crawley fucking rail against Rodon. You have
he's great.
Personal vendetta against this guy.
No, he's never turned me down for an autograph. Nothing. No.
Were you and Mike betting on Rodon games or something?
If I could go back in time, I am not a gambling man, but I would have bet the farm that he wouldn't have made it a full season. And I was impressed he made it as far as he did.
Well, and I'm looking it up right now. It's 132 innings, which is the most he's done since 2016, which he did 165 innings. And you're absolutely right. 2019, 34 innings, 2020, only 7 innings, 2018, 120. And then 2017, 69 innings. I mean,
nice.
That's
nice.
Pretty nice. But it's like, yeah, but he's so hard. And then, if we need is somebody that really just profiles completely different than everybody else. And,
he's not the best choice in this group, but all of these guys are the not the opposite, but they're much faster than the guys that we have. They all throw like 95. And we don't have anybody on the team right now. Well, we have the young guys that throw 95, but these guys have all been there a little bit. I was really surprised to see Gray not get a qualifying offer from the Rockies. That fucking organization, the Rockies don't know what they're doing.
They're not even trying
John
to
Gray
have
would
a
be
baseball team.
John Gray would be a great pickup. With Rodon, we're going to talk about Scott Boras in a little bit, but Boras was talking about all his clients today, and Rodon was one of them, and he was glad that the White Sox didn't offer the qualifying offer because he is adamant that Carlos Rodon is going to get a multi-year deal. So Rodon had a great season, absolutely. And Boras is going to try to parlay that into a multi-year, long-term contract. And you'd have to be real careful to take a bite at that. If it may work out to be one of the great deals, I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Steven Matz and DeSclafani, those guys might be cheaper options. But, I think they need at least one more guy, that has a lot more pitching experience. And then you have at least 3 people that you're throwing out there as like a top 3. If you're really going to say you're competitive in, 2022, you can't just go out there with, the freaking Wade Miley, Kyle Hendricks, and then the cast of rookie characters and expect it to go well. I mean, it's just like now you're looking at a 95 loss season again. It's like easily.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the fact that these guys don't have qualifying offers, I would expect at least one of these 4 to for the Cubs to make a real go at it. They may not pick them up, but that's who the Cubs are going to go after because they don't want to touch anybody with the qualifying offer. And these guys, I would be happy to see Gray, Matt's DeSclafani, any of them come in maybe for like a 3-year deal or something like that.
I'm good with John.
Yeah,
John Gray's my guy, man. That's the one I'd like to see come here.
I'm with you on that, Crawley, because he pitched in a tough situation out there in Colorado his entire career, and he did pretty well for a Colorado pitcher. Now, the last time we said that about a Colorado pitcher, it did not work out at all.
His name was Tyler Chatwood, and it screwed our pooch.
When I look at Chatwood, though, I always look at a guy that people would say, "Oh, he's got great stuff, great stuff." One of those type guys, like Dylan Maples. Oh, his stuff's off the charts, great stuff. Can he throw strikes? Can he win ball games? Those are sometimes we talk about the balance between the scouts and the nerds. You know what I mean? And sometimes people just absolutely, I don't want to say wins don't matter. We know wins is not obviously the greatest stat, but sometimes it does actually, you got a guy that can get you some wins. That's great. And if you have a guy that has stuff but can't control it or can't command it, it doesn't do you a shitload of good.
How about this guy? Did you read any of the articles that they were putting out about Yusei Kikuchi, a Mariners guy?
What are you saying about my coochie?
You see Mikuchi? No.
You see Mikuchi? You see my coochie over there? No, I don't know. There's something happened with
YouTube
his spin
just shut
rate.
down.
I might be breaking up. I don't know. I'm getting the warning for my internet here, but you see my coochie. He got hit pretty hard after he couldn't spin it up there anymore.
Your coochie got hit hard.
Yeah, his coochie got hit hard in June. Like after the spin, if they started checking you for the sticky, it seemed to change his situation. I don't know. I'm not saying he'd do it or not, but I'm saying that something changed. And,
right. It got it. What you're saying is it got less sticky, and it started sliding right up there, right in the middle where you want it, and balls were flying out of there.
He turned down some his option and so he just becomes another one of those dudes that you're like, well, maybe he was a starter, moved him to the pen, like. I wouldn't mind if they start doing that and trying to, if they're not going to go for it, at least like show us something that you're trying to at least get good deals. You know what I mean? Like,
and the other thing to keep in mind, they are testing this out in the AFL, balls that are already tacky. The problem that they said was that the balls were too slick, too slippery. And so that's why they use the spider tack and all that stuff. Now what they're doing is they're kind of making the balls tackier already, kind of pre-tacking them, so to speak. So who knows if it helps a guy like Mr. Coochie.
Yeah, maybe his coochie can get sticky again.
Well, have you guys seen in Japan and in Taiwan and stuff, they use a ball. I know Japan has a ball that's like everybody loves. It's way better than anything that they use in the major leagues. Like it's got some tact to it. They're all exactly the same. There's no variance that we hear about all the time. Like
what's crazy,
I don't know why they don't go for a ball like that.
When we were kids, do you remember ever talking about the ball, or even for like 25 years straight that you had every year now we're talking about what's different about the ball. Like every single year, like there was the year of the deuce ball, and there was tighter wound. Like, no, there's nothing different about the ball, and there obviously was. To me, it's like they got to stick on something because these guys have to make these adjustments all the time.
Yeah, well, that's the key. It's not so much.
Sorry, am I broken up?
Yeah, you were a little bit, but it's not so much the, changing the ball all the time. That's what they don't want. They just want to know. I think John Lester talked about it all the time. He just wanted to know what ball he was going to get every time he went out there. He wanted the same ball, and he wasn't getting it. Nobody was, because they'd get a slick one, and then they'd get one with the seams are just a little bit more raised up, and it's ridiculous.
It's bizarre in a multi-billion dollar when you have a multi-billion-dollar industry, and this is NFL too. You guys remember Tom Brady with Deflategate and all that shit. It's just bizarre that you allow these guys to kind of have the balls instead of just the umpires being the ones that have the balls and being like, here are the balls that the league gave us. We got like boxes of the shit, put it in the ump room, bring it out, standard set of balls, and go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems like there would be there would be some like, consistency to the manufacturing process, how they would, I love the idea that they would put some sort of sticky tack on it, like they've got to do something because they let them go to their mouth kind of, but it's probably not enough. I don't know. The hitters are against it. The pitchers are for it. Like, I mean, you got to do something. You got to just standardize what it is and just call it a day.
I want some ghost pepper laces. So when those pitchers go to their tongues, they're like, fuck, burn the shit out of them.
From what I heard last year, a lot of the hitters didn't mind because they were more nervous that if they didn't have control, if the ball got away from them, that the hitters could get hurt. So
yeah,
I heard a lot of hitters say like, I'm fine with whatever the fuck they're using, just don't hit me.
Yeah. Because we saw like after that, I mean, after June, like some of those Dylan Maples pitches, just like, somebody's gonna die up here, So, I mean, we get into the GM meetings a little bit. I thought this was an interesting. Jed Hoyer had a few things to say, not too much that is newsworthy really, but I thought this was interesting. He said we have to get away from having too many of the same type starter. There's always that question that you can't really prove, but is there a degradation among the staff if you have too many guys throwing two-seamers and control command guys? At some point, are you just comfortable when you've seen that a couple days in a row? I do think we have to come up with some different looks. Some of that comes with some more power. And I was like, oh, shit, he's been watching the Son Ranto show because we've only been saying this for like, I don't know, 4 years or something,
Yeah, no, I'm like, oh shit, he's been watching Little League baseball, fucking high school baseball. He fucking came up on the truth that they haven't been able to figure out for the last 100 fucking years when they've been doing this. Everybody knows you need different fucking pitchers every day. You dumb shit.
Well, that's why I made this obvious. I made this before about Tom Ricketts. It's the hot dog sketch. We're all trying to find the guy who did this, but I should have had Jed Hoyer's face in there. I'll make one for that. But
you should also put ketchup on that shit.
Right. But it's from that. If you ever seen that sketch, you know what I mean? A guy crashes a hot dog car into the store, and he starts. Everyone's, who did this? And the hot dog guy is like, yeah, who did this? We're trying to find out. It's like, obviously it's you, dude. You're dressed in a hot dog. It's the same type of thing where you have where you got fucking Jed Hoyer sitting there like, I think there's something to be said. If you have too many of the same pitchers, hitters gonna get comfortable. You did this. You didn't know this. It was your idea.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, it's a good idea to have a guy that throws 89 or 90 and is a finesse dude. It's a really good idea to have one of those guys. But you have to surround him with everybody else. You can't just have them all be that guy. And we like corner the market on that guy for like 2 years straight. And I'm like, come on. It's like if Kyle Hendricks light, Kyle Hendricks lighter,
Remember when we were trying to figure out like, why do you go with Kyle Hendricks to start the season and then Yu Darvish, like to ease them up? Like, today we get the 89 guy and tomorrow we get the 95 guy. Well, so we kind of get to ease into the season. Like that was 2020.
Yeah, I know it was, but I'm fine with it because Kyle pitched his ass off that night. It was great, but and he was, and he, yeah, exactly, and he earned it his right to be the opening day starter.
Yeah, but it didn't make it. Yes, he did, and he was great that night, but it didn't necessarily seem to make sense.
Yeah,
kind of.
Well, what doesn't make sense is when you have
bother
Kyle
me
Hendricks.
Because it didn't bother me because you had two very different pitchers going back to back, as opposed to two or three of the same exact guy throwing from the same exact side using the same exact pitch.
Fucking Alec Mills,
Kyle
Davies.
Alec Mills, Zach Davies last year. I mean, that's the same thing.
Exact
over
same
and over
guy.
again. Yeah. So, well, let's talk a little bit about
and then
Scott
your
Boras.
bullpen was throwing like the same too.
Exactly. It's like, we got finesse guys in the pen too. So let's get into Scott Boras. He was out there today. There's Crawley.
My
with
guy.
him. Yeah, there's your guy. You and how old were you in this picture?
That was Chris Bryant's debut game. So that was 2015. So Lord, we've aged a lot in 6 years. That was 2015. That was Chris Bryant was called up San Diego against James Shields. The game where James Shields overpowered Chris Bryant and the White Sox decided they needed James Shields. So let's trade Fernando Tatis Jr. But that was the game where Bryant came up. And so Boras was there, Mike Bryant. And I had a picture of Tom Ricketts. The three of them were all talking. And then I came down.
Struck out.
Yeah, he struck out 3 times that day. And I remember I went up to Boras and I'm like, I asked somebody, hey, can you take a picture? And they're like, with Boras? And I'm like, yeah. And like, I guess like no one ever asked for his picture or even recognized him. But I was all excited. I was like, I got a picture of Scott Boras.
Well, he was talking about Chris Bryant again. Weirdly, he said some weird stuff. Boras said he has positional versatility, which makes him untouchable. He has Bond-like abilities to create a great middle of the lineup, and he's always red hot in the hunt for October. He's an extraordinary gentleman and in a league of his own. Like, could we have like a couple more movie reference euphemisms like in that? It's so strange.
Okay,
James Bond. That's the last person I would think of. Well, maybe not the last, but
Bond-like abilities to create a great middle of the lineup. Do you remember when James Bond was in, I don't know, Rookie of the Year? Like, what the fuck? I've never seen James Bond hit a baseball. He probably plays cricket.
For people that don't know, during the GM meeting, Scott Boras always has kind of like this like day where all the writers come. So it's like this big thing because he always has the best client. I mean, you look at his client list every year and it's always great. So he just kind of literally, like I think on the plane, just writes shit down on cocktail napkins and like, I'm just going to just, as he's drunk, just starts fucking writing shit down. And this is what I'm going to say. This is going to be great.
The other question I have is, does he think Sean Connery was in a league of his own or a league of her own, you know, like League of Their Own, that movie? Like that sounded like a movie reference. And I'm like, Sean Connery wasn't anywhere near that fucking movie.
But think about this, is that this is the day where it's all for Scott Boras. It's about him. Everybody take a look at me. And so he's going to get everybody their deals and he's going to talk it up. What he is doing is creating a lot of media attention for his clients, but also for his corporation. And so it gets headlines.
And also his stand-up career.
Right. Anybody that's a young player or thinking, you know, somebody that's got a lot of talent, you know, the first person you think of when you think of an agent, think of Scott Boras, you know, and then he continues to kind of drive his own market up.
I don't know if it's such a great idea to have a celebrity agent. I mean, I wonder if like, I mean, he obviously does really well for his clients, but I would wonder if you know, sometimes that would be annoying, especially if you were like, let's say you're not Chris Bryant, but you're like a little bit further down his roster. Like, you know, it's like, all right, well, I'll throw in a good contract for this guy so I can get,
your
my top guy, the best. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm just wondering if you were more of a middling sort of player, like how it would be for you to have Boras.
He doesn't take on a lot of the middling guys. He's got a pretty good record of getting the big guys. And then he dumps the middling guys off on the other guys that work for him.
Right. Rodon it was a blue chip prospect, you know what I mean? And he obviously performed that way this year. Wasn't so basically, you know, Boras was his agent for a while. You didn't know like I said, he was going to be his injury plague, but you know, like Michael said, it's not just Scott Boras working for him. He has a whole bunch of people. And obviously the better you are, the more resources you're going to have going into these contract negotiations. I
mean, clearly he has a team of comedy writers on his staff, just writing Sean Connery jokes.
But you take a look at Twitter today. You look at Twitter today, like that. Everybody was writing about it. It was everywhere. We're talking about it. It's going to be on the ESPN tonight. It's going to be on the talk radio shows. He's sitting here. He's mentioning his clients. He's kind of putting stuff out there. And hey, man, if I am a baseball player, he's doing his job.
Sean Connery's in Scotland somewhere, just like, what the fuck? Why am I on Twitter? Like, what is
Sean Connery die?
Oh, is he dead? I don't
think
fucking
so.
know. If not, we probably just killed him by mentioning him on this show. But I can't fucking remember if he's dead or not. I don't think
Yeah,
he is.
he died at age 90. Yeah, he died just a
Yeah, he
not
died.
too
Yeah.
long. 2020 he died.
Oh, okay. So
There was a lot of
well,
deaths.
damn
that
it. I
year.
guess
So a couple of
well, even weirder then. Like his family wasn't thinking about him even.
There's other James Bond. It could be Pierce Brosnan. It could be
a different Bond, yeah.
Roger Moore. It could be Daniel Craig. There's a lot of other.
Oh, they didn't want him. They didn't want him to be that one James Bond who only did one movie though, or Timothy Dalton who had the bad ones.
He was talking about more of his clients. One of Cub fans' interests was Nick Castellanos. Bobby Nightingale, not to be confused with Bob Nightingale, says agent Scott Boras on Nick Castellanos' free agent market. I advised all of you 2 years ago that old Saint Nick was going to bring a lot of presents to Cincinnati. Frankly, we're just going to sit back and see what teams have been naughty and nice. Is what he said.
I'm fucking telling you. Comedy. He has comedy writers.
That's gold, man. That's gold stuff.
They're not good comedy writers because those people work for actual comedy shows. But
yeah, no, it's not funny. But this one, Gordon Whitmire, he tweeted this one out. He said, Scott Boras on how many teams are trying to win in 2022. Boras says 17 at the most. How many in the NL Central? He pauses, smiles, and says, I think you know the answer to that.
Now, interesting though, in that Castellanos, is he was asked about the Cubs, who Castellanos played for, and he said he would not say if the Cubs were a match for free agent Nick Castellanos, which is interesting because Boras is always kind of like one of those, yep, any team wants to come talk, we'll talk. But he was kind of very indifferent about the Cubs, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he knows that they probably won't give a good deal. But getting back to what Danny was just talking about, that quote, he pauses and smiles. I think you know the answer to that. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Do you?
Well, I mean,
wait, is it? Hold on. Honest to God, is any NL Central team going for it?
No.
So,
the Reds
so we've got an entire division of teams that are tanking that just aren't fucking even trying.
The Cardinals are the only ones that are going for it only because they have like Lars Nootbaar. And like
they're not going for it. They're not going for it.
They don't have to.
They fucking re-signed Yachty for $30 million.
Exactly.
I think the Brewers obviously try to do the best with what they got.
Yeah, they're going for it in the way they can, but they're not going to sell off their future.
They're not going to go for it. They're just going to try and do the best they can.
Right. And the Cardinals are just going to win because of the stupid Cardinals. It's the Cubs that aren't going for it. The Pirates probably need another year to get somewhere, but who knows when they start putting together. And the Reds just like give up every other year, apparently. Is how that works,
Now, the interesting thing about this press conference too is there was a name brought up, and you asked Danny how weird it would be for kind of some of the other kind of say middling Scott Boras clients. A Scott Boras client was asked about today, Mr. Jake Arrieta, and so
who the fuck was asking about him?
The Chicago beat writer. So Jake Arrieta plans to pitch again next season. He attributed poor season to a series of physical issues that affected his mechanics. Expects him to be ready in the spring.
He had COVID, long COVID, the whole season.
He did have a lot of hamstring issues, but again, wasn't he the guy that made the Cubs buy like machines that spun you around, Pilates shit and stuff like that? Like I thought this wasn't going to be a problem.
Yeah. And no, he just got old. I mean, and I know he wants to pitch again. I mean, and somebody may give him another shot at least to go back out there one more time and see how it goes. But you've seen this a million times when the guy's like at the end of his career, he's just hanging on, and he's getting a chance. Like you see it at the back of the baseball card. It's like, wow, he played for 5 teams that year. Like what happened? Like and just like everybody's like, yeah, we need an arm. Get over here. Like
I don't remember Jake Arrieta being on Seattle.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And
Arrieta's eyeing an Edwin Jackson like career right now. He's just hoping
he's going to do all the teams that Edwin did just in like 1 year. is gonna how that works. Everybody give him a shot. Well, he won the Cy Young. Let's give him a shot, and that's pretty much what gets you that shot at it. And you're like, maybe you got something left, but
Well, you
I was
brought up Jake
surprised.
Arrieta and the Cy Young, which he did win when he was with the Cubs in 2015. The same year Chris Bryant won Rookie of the Year. You know who did not win Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, no, the guy who broke Chris Bryant's record.
Yeah.
Patrick Wisdom. And here's the thing about Patrick Wisdom. And I thought of you as soon as I saw that news, Crawley, because like of all the people being like, I don't know, this guy's 31. He's maybe putting it together late in his career. And like even MLB's like, no, we're not even acknowledging that this even happened. Like this is not even like, don't even be thinking that this guy's a guy at all. And, like, I don't care. He hit 27. So he ran into 27. I don't know what to tell you, like, never going to happen again. And they obviously have no faith. But did that surprise you that, like, I mean, granted, he had a 50% strikeout rate or something horrible. but did it surprise you at all that he didn't even get to be like in the finalist, or you have to be young?
No, no, you don't have to be, because Ichiro, he won Rookie of the Year when he was like 53 or something. No, no, it doesn't surprise me. Patrick Wisdom was only a Rookie of the Year candidate in the minds of Cubs fans. We're the only ones that clocked him last year at all.
Yeah. Maybe the Cardinals wishing they still had him because he was hitting home runs, but that was all. Yeah, that's only people that ever even heard of him.
Right. Now, if you want to talk about real potential Rookie of the Years, the Cubs got some youngsters in the Arizona Fall League tearing it up.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love to see those guys on the All-Star list. And especially because I looked up Andy Weber, who I don't think a lot of Cub fans who don't watch the minors or have even heard of this guy, because he's not known as like a top prospect or whatever. But, I don't know. He had a bad year this year. He hit 223. OBP of 319. He had an OPS of 642 with two teams in AA and rookie year. It wasn't a great year for him, but he goes down to the Arizona Fall League, and they're probably just trying to get him some extra bats because they like him, and he's tearing it up. He's got a 975 OPS. He's hit 4 triples. Like, I love triples, dude. Like, if
And the thing to keep in mind is that, like, we talk about Patrick Wisdom running into however many home runs, but right now you're in this Arizona Fall League, which is the best of everybody's young talent. So you're not playing like a team. You're playing the best of the best. You get what I'm saying?
He's having a good month, so I'm not going to get all excited about, having a good month. But either way, like, Nelson Velasquez just hitting homer after homer. He's leading the Arizona Fall League in home runs, and that's amongst all these prospects. And then Caleb Killian, who you get for Chris Bryant, he's learning a spike change. He throws 95, 96, and then he's actually picked up a mile of velocity down in the Arizona Fall League, and he's working on a curveball that's like, playing real good. So I'm like, ooh, that, I don't know. It's nice to see this little hope.
Right. And Nelson Velasquez is the breakout story, not for Cub fans, but in baseball, as far as the Arizona Fall League's concerned.
Yeah. I didn't look up his numbers because we already talked about him doing well. I just looked up, look, there's another Nelson Velasquez. He's a composer. He's 48 and he lives in Colombia. So
can he hit a curveball?
But no,
a composer.
Exactly,
did Scott Boras reference him earlier today?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to look. I'm putting up Facebook.
What was that stupid commercial about painting when a pitcher paints a corner? It's called a Rembrandt. Do you remember that?
A Rembrandt.
Oh yeah.
They've played that commercial a bazillion times.
He's got 8 home runs in 82 at bats. Nelson does, and he's batting 390. His OBP of 490. He's slugging 756 for an OPS of 1.246. But he's got no triple.
He has been the story of the AFL, and if you think about that, what you basically said is he homers every 10 at bats.
Yeah. Pee in the cup, Nelson. Pee in the cup. That was my fear. I was like, God damn it. It's on steroids. Because this guy was supposed to be a guy. All of a sudden he goes down there. He's hitting home runs everywhere.
Right. He was like, my season's over. I can cycle on. And they're like, you got to go down to the Arizona Fall League. Oh, shit.
So before we move on to the next topic, I got another quick commercial for sunranto.com/shopping. Another commercial for us. Just hold tight.
If you're like most Americans, you buy shit. Lots of shit. Sometimes you buy shit for other people. Sometimes you buy shit for yourself. And sometimes you buy shit you have to buy just to stay alive. So why not buy shit through the Sunranto affiliate? Links at sunranto.com/shopping. We've got tons of shit you can buy. Go to sunranto.com, click on the shopping link, then click our ads and buy shit. We've got Amazon. They've got tons of shit. But you can also buy MLB shit, NBA shit, NFL shit, Fans Ed shit, Southwest Airlines shit, Fanatic shit, Reebok shit, Wine of the Month shit, Beer of the Month shit, Bear Mattress shit, StubHub shit, Lid shit, Sports Memorabilia shit, Volcanica coffee shit, Vibrator shit, Condom shit, Bag shit, NHL shit, and Audible membership shit. There's a whole lot of shit that can help the Sunranto Show stay on the air so we can keep talking shit. So buy shit today through sunranto.com/shopping. Thanks. Cubs Jesus thinks you're the shit.
Well, look up the Amazon link and try to find the Sunranto links and look at that dildo, because whenever I see her holding it, that thing looks like a baguette. That's I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know if anyone else notices that, but some
That's funny. I was thinking about Italian food too.
So Crawley, I was looking over the Twitters the other day, and who do I see in his picture tweeted out by the Chicago Tribune, front page and center, the poster boy of Cubs convention. There's Crawley holding the W flag. Who are you with? Number 95.
That is Mike Mitchell, originally from Fowler's Howlers, now with the Noblemen with his Chad Noble number 95 jersey. If you look at the bottom right corner, that is our good friend Austin Plock from Plock Artwork. So good crew. I think Chad or Mike is standing on my beer cooler, but it's the every Cubs conventional annual Let's Go Cubs chant 5 minutes before convention starts.
And well, that's not going to happen this year because what this article said was the Chicago Cubs have canceled plans to hold their annual fan convention in January because of COVID-19 concerns. So I guess it's okay to just like go shoulder to shoulder in the troughs, all 181 games a year, be at full capacity this entire time. COVID, not a problem there. Let's make cup snakes.
So
let's do all this stuff. And then
let me take a minute here on this really quick, because I know everyone's going to love to throw the conspiracies and say, oh, the Ricketts are just trying to hide it. They've done that. The Ricketts canceled the family forum. This isn't new. Here's the deal. They would have had CubsCon, but the point is that people don't realize the amount of work. I told you guys in the summertime there would be no CubsCon. I said this. I've been saying this for a while. Here's what I know for a fact. The Cubs have to book out 2 hotels, not 1, 2 hotels. They book out the Sheraton and they book out the Lowe's. Okay. And so you have to book that out a year in advance. A year in advance would have been 2021 January, when COVID was spiking at its worst at the Delta rate. So what you're telling me is you want the Cubs to book 2 hotels, 2 large amounts of hotel rooms. Then usually around February, March, April, they kind of put the program together, who they're inviting. You have to get plane tickets. You have to get employees. You have to literally do all this stuff. There's a lot of prep work. You're telling me they're going to do all this. And when does COVID always spike? In the northern hemisphere, in the wintertime.
In the winter.
That's when you have the worst waves. So there was no way. And again, everybody can kind of get their conspiracy theories out there that the Ricketts are dodging and ducking and bobbing and weaving. That's fine. I'd love to give them shit too. I'm the one who broke the fucking story about them canceling the family forum. I'm telling you right now, there was nothing more than it just wasn't feasible in this climate. You talk about going in the pisser. First of all, they didn't have full capacity to start the season. Second of all, then they had partial capacity with mask restrictions. Eventually, if you go piss for 30 seconds, I don't know how long you're spending in the pisser. You're there for 5 minutes, and that's it. Most of the other time, you're in open air.
Hold on. Danny posted pictures of himself destroying the fucking the Hickory whiskey room or whatever.
I was. Remember when I destroyed the Hickory whiskey room?
The Maker's Mark room.
I turned Blue Friday into Brown Friday, But but let me
people bringing up the CBA. That's Jack
It's-
Pestovich. It's a little bit that, but they weren't going to book it a year in advance. They had all the way from January until this December to figure it
so
out.
why didn't they
there's-
tell us when they didn't book it that it wasn't going to happen? Because they waited to the last minute, and then they end up looking. They ruin it for themselves, because now you can say if they would have said last January, like, we're obviously not going to have this. We need a year to, and everybody knows this, that it takes that long to plan a convention and stuff. We know that the players don't want to be around a bunch of freaking dirty fans in COVID. I mean, but
And Danny,
have,
you've been to the
and-
convention. You know what it is like. It is
the
literally
big,
shoulder to
sweaty
shoulder,
yeah.
back
I
to
had-
ass. Like you can
Hey,
barely
I'm
move.
just, I'm
but
just
but I
saying-
wouldn't dismiss what Jack Pastulovic, sorry I destroyed your name, is saying here in the comments. It's about the CBA. I can see that too. They're going to lock these guys out December 1st, so you cannot plan to have them over, downtown Chicago on, January 16th. First off, you don't have anybody to bring anyway. I mean, you got Wilson Contreras and Kyle Hendricks. Is it? And then
that didn't matter in 2014,
Right,
They didn't care. Like, they went out
right.
there whatsoever.
I understand that, but they can't bring them in. Once they lock them out, they can't bring them in. The only people they can bring in is the 69 Cubs. Like, that's it.
Nice.
Those guys are it. And so I can see that. But
think
I
a lot
also think fucking Tom Ricketts is still making good on his promise. We will not be booing next year. And we haven't had a
be there.
fucking opportunity since he
2
said
years.
that. It's been 2 years. No Cubs Con. Nobody has booed him at Cubs Con since.
It blows my mind because CubsCon was such a big part of my life. As far as how much I loved going, how much I loved attending, like that to me was better than Christmas, better than my birthday. That was my weekend, and I loved it so much. And I can't believe it's been 2 years since I've been there.
It sucks, and luckily we're gonna throw stuff. We've been trying to figure out the date. And usually it's over Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, which is right smack dab in the middle of the month. That's a really bad time for me. So we're trying to figure this. But I know a lot of people like Stuart from Club 400 planning on doing stuff. Nisei Lounge is going to be throwing some events, and like they're trying to get us on board. As I said, we're going to try to figure out, but we'll let everybody know we're going to do something. If not that weekend, I know that's a good weekend for people because a lot of people have the next day off or something. But we'll figure out something to do in the wintertime because it is like it breaks up the winter in the perfect way. And that's what's sad about
it's
not
glorious
having
because everything happens in a row. January CubsCon, February pitchers and catcher, March spring training, April opening day. Boom, boom, boom.
it. Yeah. So it's sad. Well, I'm sorry because I also thought of you as soon as like I heard that too. I was like, oh, poor Crawley. That's his freaking Christmas.
Well,
And
that's my jam. And what's freaking me out is like when I go there, you kind of like, who do I need to get? Who is the autographs I need to get? And I always put Jason Hayward on the back burner because his contract's so fucking long. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I don't know. Chris Bryant may be gone and Ben Zobrist may be gone. I got to get those guys. I'll get Hayward later. Well, now 2 fucking years I was supposed to get Hayward. I'm getting freaked out here, man. Like he may be gone and I may never see Jason Hayward and get the autograph I need.
well, that would be a double-edged sword of bad and good. Because if you never see Jason Hayward again, that means that something good happened with the Cubs and they decided to part ways. Or they found
Robert
somebody taking
Sanchez,
that
Cub
contract.
druggist, says at least you won't lose at bingo this
Oh,
year.
he
I
can
guess.
lose at bingo. Just he's not going to lose at bingo at CubsCon because I'm sure we're going to play some bingo at some point.
Can
So-
I call it?
Well, yeah, you should be. Yeah, you could be the new Wayne Messmer.
I've called a
into it.
bingo game before at the Moose Lodge, just so you know.
I like how you act like you've got these qualifications like
I'll put a resume together.
B8. Oh, I'm sorry. It's
No.
it's B8.
There's certain,
Fuck, I don't know how to do this.
there is certain things you have to have your bingo calls. Everyone knows whether it's under the O or the logo. Under the O, 69. You got, and then like there's certain things, and then like the other thing is B9. It's not a Tuma. Like there's certain things that just like are total bingo things that if you know them, they're a lot of fun.
So the only announcement I really have is
That must be from Scott Boris's comedy writers.
yeah, exactly. Hilarious. The only real announcement I have is that the Cubs caroling on December 11th. It's going to be really fun. Saturday night, we're going to party our faces off. We're going to go around Wrigleyville. We're going to sing. We're going to meet at G-Man Tavern at 5 p.m. And I'm going to bring a bunch of song sheets. We're going to walk around. We're going to sing as many Cubs Christmas songs as we can until we have no voices left.
And Danny,
I wrote 2 songs last night, Danny, to put in to the for the contest video production that we will do for everybody. If you don't know what this is, write your own Cubs Christmas parody, film yourself, put it on TikTok or Twitter, or send it an email, however the fuck you want to do it. And then at the end, we put all this shit out in like one long thing. It was great last year. I loved it.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that really this year, I think, because that was more of a COVID thing. So I think they're just going to trickle into the contest. So, yeah, that's my only, and you can win a Ronnie Woo Woo bobblehead if you win. So we will have the contest. I mean, I don't know if we'll just like do them all like on one night. Maybe we will if we're bored, but that's pretty.
Didn't we just watch them all on the show?
I sang them all. I sang a bunch, and then we watched a bunch.
We watched a bunch too. We had Bill Sugars. I remember. Michael was dressed in a robe with some scotch, I believe.
That was hilarious. That was Silent Night, I believe.
So I think we had to cut off Salado because this was like
too long. I was like
12 minutes long.
12 minutes.
He was like Freebird out there.
So definitely you've got till pretty much then. Actually, you got pretty much till Christmas to get those in, as far as the contest goes. We'll announce it right around Christmas time. So, and to show up to the event, it's all up on Facebook on the Sun Ranto page. So I only have one flexing cube from this week. So I'll just give it to you real quick. This has to do with CubsCon, and Bleacher Nation tweeted out their article about it. Cubs reportedly canceling Cubs convention for the second straight year. And Let's Go Brandon, or Stop Drop Kaboom 2, wrote woke snowflakes. Like, little do they know that they don't even understand how unwoke the Ricketts really are.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty much
imagine.
So that's mine.
Okay. Well, I've got 2 that kind of go together. They're off the same one. It was it's Cubs tangential. It's Jock Peterson, the video of him during the World Series saying we are the motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
And Segovia 44 on Reddit says if the Dodgers hadn't got rid of Jock, they would have won the World Series this year. And that wasn't quite enough. And then he came back and wrote more. And this is where he went full on ranter. The fucking Dodgers are idiots. Why in the fuck did they get rid of Jock? He was the spark that turned everything on. That's what you need in a team. Fuck all that respectful idol shit and fuck the fucking censor bullshit, motherfuckers. Everything is in the open. No, nothing is sacred. So quit your sniveling. Jock should sign with the Giants so he could fuck the Dodgers good. He's a home run hitting motherfucker, and he always comes through when you need him. Stupid Dodgers. That was one sentence.
Wow.
Off the meds. No punctuation.
No punctuation. Woo.
Well, he did have 2 exclamation points at the back of it.
Yeah.
I do got one thing. It is not baseball related, but I thought it related well to the show. Average Dad 1 says, my wife teaches high school math, and half of her time is spent just making sure that none of the math problems she gives to the kids end up with an answer of 69 or 420.
Right.
Meanwhile, if I was a math teacher, they would all end up like that. So
every kid gets 100%. They're like, oh, it's going to be fucking 420 or 69.
69. It's all
50-50 shot, right?
So after this show, we're going to go over on the Spotify Green Room app and fulfill our obligations. But I don't know what we want to talk about because it has really been a slow week. But we always
ask us anything.
Yeah, ask us anything. So
Yeah, ask us questions.
download
Ask
the
us
Spotify
anything.
Green Room.
Cubs,
Anything.
anything.
Cubs are
We
not
are open.
related.
And you know what? Yeah, and when you ask, you can ask us over Twitter or other ways. If for some reason we're not seeing it on the Green Room app, sometimes that's a little funky. We'll be paying attention to the Sun Ranto Show Twitter, the actual Twitter account, and then one of us will do that, and one of us can look on Facebook
That's a
in
good
case
idea,
they
'cause,
can't see us.
it can be a little bit wonky sometimes. So join us over there. Download the Spotify Green Room app. Follow Sun Ranto Show. You'll be notified when we go live, which will be in about 5 minutes. So let's spagog out of here, and we'll see you over on the other side.
Spagog!
Go.
Winter kept on roaring. Spring never arrived. The earth was busy healing. 1,000,000 people died. Seems like another era, a long forgotten time when we all were out at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. Watching the boys of summer send baseballs for a ride. A deep Chicago sunset, an orange and purple sky. I'm dreaming of those days, 'cause I remember you and I just loving being at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. I know that we'll come back if we can survive. The field will look so beautiful through wet and weary eyes. Sitting in the bleachers, my baby by my side, when we all are back at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. When we all are back at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. When we all are back at Wrigley